Hello, this lesson is focus stacking inside Photoshop. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Photoshop, and I want you to look at this image. It's a macro shot of some pine cones, and what I did was I picked 6 different areas and focused on the top of this, the outside of this, over in here, up there, over here, and over in here. This is the finished image. What I'm going to do is this. I'm going to go over here to File, and I'm going to go to Scripts, and I'm going to say Load Files into Stack. So it asks me to browse, and I'm going to go into my Test Images folder, and I'm going to pull up these 6 images that are all they're all in raw format. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of them. That would be click on the first one, then shift click on and click on 6, then click OK. What it's going to do is it's going to open it up in Photoshop. Since there's 6 of them, it's going to take a little while. And it's going to put them into the layers window. I think somewhere along here it's going to open up the layers window, but it's got to load all 6 of these images into different layers, so it's going to take a little while. This process is really interesting. I've never really done a lot of it before, but when I do macro photography, which I don't really have a macro lens, but I have one that does macro. What I'll try to do is do it on a tripod and try to get everything that I want in focus, especially if you don't have enough light, or that optimum for that lens is only like f8, f11, and putting it at 16 or 22 is not going to give you the best image quality. So focus stacking is a good way to get around that problem. You can also do this with available light if you want, and hand hold it, because it's going to auto align everything. So it's finished loading all the images, and it should put them up in the layer window somewhere along here. See if I can open up the layer window myself. Okay, here are all the images. I must have closed it. All right, so here are all the images in stacked layers. So I click on the first one to select it, then shift click on number 6 to do all of them. Then I go over to the edit menu, go to the edit menu and click on auto align layers. This is going to put them, make sure the alignment is correct. And then auto is usually pretty good, so you don't have to mess around with it too much. And I click on OK. And this is going to take a little while as well. But it's kind of cool that if you're pretty close, auto align is going to really work well. I've seen images that have been pretty far off with the layers not really taken in the same exact spot. And even this image here has got, it's just micro off a little bit here and there. But Photoshop is really good at putting everything together. And then when we blend the stack, it'll be even more apparent as to how good a job it does. But it's taken a little while. It's just slow. This computer is an older computer. It's probably 2009. It's an iMac. And it's been rebuilt once, so it's taking its time. I like the way it says generate output panorama. No. We're not doing a panorama. Okay. Let's hope that's done. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that these are all selected again, and we're going to go in here to Edit. We're going to go to Auto Blend Layers. And you want to make sure you have Stack Images checked and Seamless Tones and Colors checked. Click OK. It's going to start building this up again. What's going on here is it's creating a different mask for each layer. And then it's going to blend those together to make sure that all of the focus areas in each layer are the ones that are being reproduced. So like I said, it's going to take a little while as well, as I'm just slow, or my computer's just slow. What you'll see in the final output is you'll see that there'll be a little edge around the whole image that needs to be cropped out, and that was done after the auto align put everything together. But as soon as it gets blended, then you'll be able to see it. This image is better converted to black and white because there really isn't a lot of color in it. Got some color in the pine cone on the left with a little bit of yellow and brown and red, but the other two are really gray. So I'm just going to, once we get done with this, I'll show you the cropping. But you'll see how sharp it is. Well, you saw how sharp it was when we looked at the final image before. It's taking a little time here still. It still needs to create its, there it goes. These are the masks. If you look at the masks closely, you can see where the focus areas are. Okay, so I'm going to close that up. And you can see, again, how sharp it is from front to back. This is something anybody can do this. You can practice this without any problem at all. I'm just cropping in the edges like this, and I like the shadow that it created. Come up from the bottom a little bit. Now you can see how interesting this is when it's sharp front to back. Now if it was just sharp here in the front like this or up at the top, it wouldn't be nearly as interesting. But I'm going to bring it up a little bit. You can see how sharp it is. Look how sharp it is over here. That's the front. Here's out in the back a little bit. But it's pretty amazing. Look at that. That's just crazy. So anyway, that is focus stacking in Photoshop.